Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GLORIO Chat, the best anime podcast on the internet. We are deep into the spring 2026 season now, like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 episodes, depending on the show. For me personally, there are a couple shows I really like, others that are rapidly dropping off the list. I do think Dorohedoro is safe as my best show of the season.
Yeah, but we knew that before we started, so...
I think that would have been difficult to top regardless, but, we still have some things going. I think you guys still have some shows you're enjoying, right?
Sure.
You can say that.
Yeah. So, well, we will get right into it then after we introduce everybody. So I am Jel. I'm joined by Iro. I almost forgot my internet name there for a second.
I'm still here. I'm not dead yet.
Iro's still with us. G. We were joined by G.
Two undisputed legends face each other in Japan in a fight for the ages at an event unmistakably compromised by Saudi blood money. Am I talking about Naoya Inoue versus Junto Nakatani, or am I talking about the Daigo versus Meta RD first to 10?
I mean, I would argue that it's more applicable to Daigo versus Menardi because boxing was always tainted by dirty money. So
Sure, okay. That is fair.
You know, that's just business as usual.
Regardless of the source.
Yes. I guess emphasis on the Saudi part these days.
Yeah. Everything is tainted in some way these days, but yes.
But Cristiano Ronaldo is in City of the Wolves.
God,
I think it's a fair trade.
I forgot about that.
God.
And that Swedish DJ whose name I can't be bothered to remember.
Yes.
Anyways, yes, those are things that happened. All right, G, but yes. All right. Well, we're also joined by Zig.
Yep. least worst option subbing in again here.
Yes. We are always glad to have you on, Zig.
I'm always glad to be on.
Yes, of course. So
wow, that was one of the most sarcastic things I've ever heard.
Damn. Out here.
I truly mean that, Zig. We love having you on.
I can't tell anymore.
Sure you do.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't turn off my podcast host voice, which may or may not mask my sincerity sometimes. What can I say?
Okay, I forgive you.
Yes. All right. Well, let's talk about some anime. That is what we're here for, right?
Oh, must we?
Yeah. It is the purpose of an anime podcast.
I suppose so.
So let's talk about all of our shows that we are watching this season, and we'll kick things off with Marriagetoxin, the show that seems to be increasingly more and more made for me. But
there's someone in Japan is just like every couple of seasons just pushes the button which says "Make Gel's dirtbag comedy of the season." Like,
Yeah, I'm not ready to put this one up on the same tier as some of the all-time greats on my list. But
you're not putting your box quote on it.
It's not as good as Bin Mogami Ga.
I also do think there's like worthwhile distinction here, right? Like I would not necessarily
Yes,
I don't know if I'd call this a dirtbag comedy. Like the people are not good people, but they are not like bad people in the way that we sometimes enjoy watching bad people be bad people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's just when we talk about a gel show, my mind goes to like a certain archetype of show.
Yeah, if you want to get there is some nuance to this, right? And those are perhaps reasons why, I wouldn't, like I said, put this on the top of some of my other cult classics that I enjoyed. But I am having a lot of fun in general with it. It remains just utterly ridiculous in a lot of ways. So for these 2 episodes, we had, if you recall, we had left off where he had rescued the art thief lady, and he had to fight the waterbender lady.
Yes.
G, it seems your prediction that the masters are all going to be hot, evil women is probably incorrect.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
In this show, you never know, I guess. But
Yeah. Well,
yes.
I mean, now it's a hot evil man in the next arc. But yes,
we'll talk about him in episode 5, I think it is. But yes, so he has carried out Operation White Knight. He rescued this hot lady, but now he has to go on the date with her, right? And you know,
oh no,
Damn.
this, so episode 4 is like the date episode where they agree to go out to dinner after all this happens. And kind of the only defining characteristic we've had of this lady is she likes sharks. So like I mentioned last time, she has a pet great white shark that she rides named Chomsky. And so when they go to dinner, they meet at like a shark themed restaurant where everyone is wearing shark hats and they're like singing the off-brand Baby Shark song.
Wait, are they eating shark as well?
No. These are shark
it's just like,
I don't know if you can get away with that these days.
Yeah, which surprisingly does not really factor into the story at all. Nobody really acknowledges this, which is kind of funny to me.
No, it's more the horrifying realization. Okay, what if you actually bagged a date with a really hot girl, but what if she had a really one-note personality that, look, who amongst us is not pretending to be interested in a thing to impress a girl? But
Look,
this is definitely
I would have stayed for dinner is all I'm saying.
Sure, yes, but like,
I mean, it sounds like it's a pretty fancy dinner.
If date number 1 is at the shark themed bar where people wear shark hats and sing shark songs, I mean, look, it's
and they're adults. Singing like I said, what is I think is supposed to be the off-brand shark baby
sounds
shark
like
song.
it, yes.
I do not know what the Baby Shark song is.
That's okay.
Shark baby. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I am not around toddlers.
That came out around the time when like my nephew was very young, so that
okay.
got him. But that's in the billion view club on YouTube. The Baby Shark.
Yeah, I think
song.
it's like the 3rd most viewed video of all time, or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah. So, a little change of pace because there's not like really any people fighting or anything in this.
No, like mostly the bit here, right, is like, Garo, has done the work, right? He's defeated the evil lady and also maybe, unintentionally, wooed her a little bit too, but like, he has saved the day, saved the girl, saved the painting, and like this is supposed to be, part 2 of the plan, right? Now that you have this girl in your hand, you've rescued her, she's grateful to you. All right, buddy, all you got to do is seal the deal. And the bit is obviously he is completely incompetent at this date. May has to infiltrate the bar and literally like hijack their projector to like project notes on the wall, like ask her about her clothes, compliment something she's wearing,
doing the Cyrano thing, like
right.
Yeah, there's a good bit where she like plugs in her phone and it pulls up. They managed to pull out a Microsoft Word Clippy joke in there somewhere where it said it's a Clippy, it's a shark. They're like, oh, that's that little assistant thing that everybody hated from
a little sharky, like
But somehow it does go surprisingly well though, but then at the end he's like, see, I want to date you with the intention of marriage, and I don't know anything about you, and instead we should be friends and get to know each other first, right? And she's like, I thought you were just gonna ask me out, bro.
Right. It's some real Papa Near like Yoko, we are friends now. It's
yeah.
Really, it is the thing that, like, obviously, this is the excuse you have to like string along the premise of the show.
Yes,
but also it does give the good message, right? That like, yes, saving a girl just in hopes of marrying her is getting your priorities a little mixed up, right? Like, you should save these people to be a good person first, and then if they are hot and you have chemistry, then later you can date.
Wow.
Look, I'm just saying. All right, the show is what it is. Right?
If they pass the like hyperfixation test,
Like, because like later,
if they
like,
rank highly enough on the G scale, then
because like, look, man, we jump into the next arc in the next episode, and it's literally just okay, time for a new girl with new personality tick.
They need to legally say that they are not dating, so that we can have another arc with another girl.
Look, I see like 6 chicks in this OP. All right, like clearly,
is this just Siren?
Oof.
Because
we never got to the rest of the girls in the Siren opening.
Yeah, but like every week there's a new girl with a weird hyperfixation. That sounds a lot like Siren to me.
Structurally speaking, perhaps it is not that far off from Amagami/Siren.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, we get on to the next girl. So there's this, cute young girl entering college who is a heiress to some big corporation, and word on the street is somebody's trying to kill her. So, our hero is hired to pose as a college student and be her bodyguard, right? And this is the next girl he's going to try to meet. There are some pretty good jokes in here.
The whole thing is that she is like agoraphobic, right? Like she's like super like antisocial, afraid of like talking to people, but like she is desperately trying to break out of her shell, right? And so that is why she is forcibly forcing herself to go to like college orientations and like mixers and that such, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, probably the best bit, right, is the one where like Garo and the girl are posing as newly enrolled students at college, right? And they have to introduce themselves, and Garo's like, check out this sweet party trick I know how to do. And it's literally the like, look how hard I can piss shit post in anime form.
I don't think I'm familiar with this one.
Oh wow, okay. I feel like that's like I feel like that is a foundational like meme comic. Yes, but well, anyways, I digress. Yes, basically he like drinks like 12 pints of beer and then like vomits it back out in gelatinous form
because he thinks this will impress the kids.
I mean,
nice.
It's actually pretty funny. To me, because like he is supposed to be like a little bit older than them, right? G, right?
Yeah,
so like, like he's trying to age himself down to fit in with the kids,
right? Yeah.
And to me, it gives like kind of millennial versus Gen Z type of energy a little bit, but
a little bit, yes,
because he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna down these 8 beers, and they're like, why?
Like, if this was like Grand Blue Dreaming, it would have worked.
Exactly. No, the Grand Blue Dreaming crew would have loved this guy. They would have loved him as their new son, right? Like Garo becomes the most popular member of the surfing club in Grand Blue.
Yeah.
They asked him to teach them how to do the vomit your back out in gelatinous form trick.
The other good joke I liked, G, was the actual CEO of the company.
Oh, yes,
where he's like, the camera's kind of panning into the office where like the CEO is telling them, yes, there's people trying to kill my niece, because it's his niece, that, and you must protect her and all this stuff. And the camera's kind of panning with everybody kind of sitting around in like a conference room or something, and then it pans out and you see like the CEO is like this bodybuilder guy in a Speedo, and he's holding a like a ring with seats that everybody's sitting in for some reason. And
yes, it's
and because but my which is weird random thing that it was just visually very funny. But my favorite part is, since he is an executive, he has like a necktie drawn on his chest with like red marker or something like that.
It's quite
it's very stupid. And I like stupid jokes like that, but yeah. Anyway, when I say the show does not take itself seriously at all, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Right. But like there's that, and just the fact that like the show's now gone fully into like, super powered assassins, right?
Yes. So we do uncover that the assassin is a sound master. And he is a hot guy, because again, I think the real theme of the show is gender doesn't matter as long as you're hot.
Mm-hmm.
And their interpretation of sound powers so far that we've seen so far is one, mind control. Like,
Okay.
I think they're going.
Like,
I think they're going for like the Pavlov's dog bell thing.
Kinda, yeah,
a little bit
yeah.
is what I think what they're supposed to be going for. Which sure, and also just like earthquake powers.
Yeah,
or
sound
something.
waves. Yep.
Sound
sure,
waves.
vibrations.
Yeah, vibrations. So, so they survived the one assassination attempt. Gee, am I wrong in thinking that while he did save the girl, did like 20 other people get murdered in that attack?
They
They
don't
don't
acknowledge it. They don't acknowledge
because they just don't.
like,
Because there was like a full classroom of people.
right,
that
right. Because
he like
basically,
collapses the building on.
the sound design just collapses the whole building because like, oh well, if I can't separate the two, I guess I'll just take them out together. And
he rescues the girl, but I'm like, I think he just killed like 20 to 30 other people.
I can't tell. He's at least talking to a teacher. I don't know how many other students are in that room.
Look, he was only hired.
And the reason why that matters is because, like, after that, they're like, "Oh, hey, do you still want to go on the class trip or something?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. The show doesn't really care about that details like that, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Imagine you're going to college, and then it's like, you're going to, let's say, science class, and then they're like, oh, did you hear that the art building collapsed and 1,000 people died? Like, I don't know. Are you not going to go on the class trip
they
later?
Might delay. If the class trip is like tomorrow, they might delay the class trip.
But,
which is what I think it would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if 1,000 people died, you might close the.
You might close down.
It's not 1,000. I mean, I'm looking at the screenshot right now, including the teacher and the main cast. There's a grand total of 6 people in this classroom.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
This is clearly an 8 a.m. This is an 8 a.m. course.
Okay, yes.
Nobody wants to show up.
Nobody wants to be.
Oh, so what you're saying was death was the better option.
Yes. So, Gero saves May and the girl. So really that just means 2 students and a member of the faculty. So like, and also I believe this is like a history class or an econ like 101. So like really basically nothing of value was lost here.
Yeah, so
I mean that lecturer was probably just like a PhD student or something. Nobody really important.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think we kind of leave off on the 2 masters, recognizing each other's anime powers and sizing each other up. They will
probably fight in the next episode. Yes.
So anyway, it's a stupid show. It's really dumb, but it kind of that's kind of the point, right?
Dumb complimentary.
I don't feel like they're underachieving on their goals. Let's put it that way.
No, they're setting out to accomplish. They're calling their shot and accomplishing it.
Yeah, and I'm finding it quite fun. So, we'll see what happens with the Soundmaster guy next week. All right. Well, let's talk about Nippon Sangoku.
Yeah. Let's do that. Huh?
So I think I'm gonna let you guys get into it first, but broadly speaking, in these episodes, quite a bit happens. We kind of time skip a little bit to some more eventful things happening with the kind of rise of the rebellion in the other nation that they've been like on the brink of war for a couple years with, but hasn't happened yet, and we get introduced to a new character who's the leader of the forces on the other nation.
Yeah,
who is
pretty lady.
Yes, she is a pretty lady. Is she the antagonist? I don't know.
I mean, I look. So this is the part where now, where we immediately begin making comparisons between Nippon Sangoku and the legendary 1988 science fiction OVA, legendary, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, right?
Yes.
I think Wajima, the girl we're talking about, is functionally being positioned as this show's Reinhard von Lohengram, right? Like she is the on paper as presented the effective and charismatic dictator, right?
Yeah,
like who is going to reform her nation through force of arms and autocracy versus the like failing decadent bureaucracy of Yamato, the nation that our protagonists are a member of.
I think the comparison of because the other thing is like she's kind of being depicted as like more of like a populist type of
sure, yes,
thing,
sort of
right?
kind of a Joan of Arc kind of style,
right? So I it's not a great comparison.
No,
but
to
yes.
be clear, these are not ideal comparisons. But I'm more trying to
because
explain, like,
what's his name? Outer the main guy is certainly not Yang Wen Li in this situation.
No, definitely not.
So,
So functionally, like again, they do not line up thematically, but I mean as pieces in a
ideologically,
machine.
yes,
Yeah, like,
but plot wise, yes, but yeah. I think I get. There's definitely some parallels to be drawn,
and I think this is sort of the unfortunate thing about Nippon Sangoku, like, is that like even if the show were to do the right things, it is not like doing them like to the degree that I think it requires if you're going to engage in this type of like geopolitics. Like Wajima is portrayed as like, okay, she is like the hardline Sei, that's the name of the rival nation, loyalist. The nation of Sei is about to surrender to the conditions set forth by Yamato, and so she launches a violent military coup to decapitate the leadership of this nation and, basically save it from becoming a client state of their rival, right?
Sure, classic move, been done tons of times in real life.
Yes, very common, right? And the thing they tried to like establish is like, but you see, what makes her special is she's incorruptible, that she's a true believer, right? That she's gonna, bring wealth and prosperity and independence to the people, right? And all the like people who are part of the like we should surrender to the stronger nation that is threatening us faction are portrayed as like feckless cowards, right? Like they are
licking toadies.
Exactly, they're losers and they deserve to die. In fact, they deserve to be like executed for like the crime of being traitors to their nation.
What this
right?
nation needs is a strong hand.
Yes, literally that, right? And I think this is the thing that like bothers me, because even in a show like Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which like often portrays people making bad decisions, sometimes fatally bad decisions, they're always like, and even when they're being portrayed as like, grimy, self-interested, like loathsome individuals, you still sort of understand the like motivation behind their actions, right? Like, to be clear, like sometimes it is a good thing to surrender to a nation that is threatening you, like in the sense that like sometimes that is the most benevolent option that remains, right? Like, and I think this show is so like in the camp of like the ideologies that I like, or the characters that I want you to like support are, portrayed as cool, respectable people, and the people that you're not meant to like are, loathsome caricatures.
I was going to say this sounds like, everybody, all of the non-coup hardliners are like caricatures of spineless politicians.
Oh, there's a lot of just people like literally with like snot coming out their nose. They're so scared to like to say anything. That we'll get to the Emperor scenes, which are almost unwatchable to me.
Yes.
But it's there's no. It's an area that there should be a lot of nuance that is being portrayed with zero nuance.
Exactly, right? And so Wajima basically takes over the nation of Sei within a single episode, and they basically explain in a rapid-fire montage, she implemented a bunch of reforms, and she, like, dug into the treasury to feed the, to subsidize food and agricultural blah, blah, blah for the people, and it worked out. Like, now people are happy and loyal and ready to fight for their nation, and it's
fascism,
like...
it works.
And it's just
in
like...
1 month.
Yeah, it's like it all happens like a month, but it's portrayed in show in like 6 minutes, Right. And I think this is, I know I bang this drum a lot about like run times in anime and like how like important it is to be able to like linger in moments through the usage of the real physical runtime of an anime. Is the version of this better if it takes place over the course of like 6 to 7 episodes? Maybe not, but at least it is easier to sell than the version of this that's just like, and she did it, and there were no problems, and no opposition occurred, and it's and so
you say they all bowed down before her facts and logic.
Yeah, and so that gets into the other part of this show that I think I really strongly dislike is just how much this show portrays like winning an argument as like successful politics.
I mean, that is true to the fascist ethos. Like,
and the thing that, like, I think, you know, the thing that Disco Elysium, the game Disco Elysium, got right so well is that rhetoric wins arguments. It does not win you friends, and it does not affect material change, right? In fact, winning an argument can often be quite detrimental to your cause. And this show decides to take the other tact of, like, well, the smarter guy who's better at debating is able to make their version of reality coalesce. And thus, if you lose the argument, it is because you are a, you know, feckless, incompetent loser who is incapable of realizing their goals. And so it leads to a lot of just like, you know, it's like the political cartoon like thing of like, you know, the sweaty, gross, hairy guy who has no good arguments, you know, sputters like the fool he is, and the cool, sharp-eyed Chad, you know, effortlessly, you know, deflects all of, you know, their bad arguments with facts and logic, and everybody falls to their knees and goes, "Wow, he's so right and smart. Like, let's immediately carry out his ideology because he won the argument." They literally, then the crowd claps. The crowd claps. You know?
Now that I'd watch.
You
so
know,
it's the perfect keyboard warrior anime. Then
it kind of is, right? And I think it's like, okay, if your character's supposed to be a talky, smarty guy, right? You know, perhaps like one young Wen Li. You know, like I do get like what you are trying to establish. Of yes, you know, words win wars, right? You know, the pen is mightier than the sword, blah blah blah. But it's like, Yang Wen Li still put his hat on and then proceeded to kill like 17 million Empire soldiers at the Battle of Iserlohn. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is still this aspect of like, words must then translate into action, right? Like, rhetoric and ideology must actually affect, like, must be committed to affect material change. And it's like the show decides to just lump the two into a single concept, right? Like not that one leads to the other, but that one is the other. And I think it just like means that the show can like wear the aesthetics of like being a smart geopolitical show. But
it's a very this is like almost textbook like world builder's disease kind of, if that makes sense. I don't know if folks are familiar with that term, but
you
like
want to explain that, Iru?
Especially in like Western writing circles, like world building disease is when like you get so caught up in like making the timeline or whatever of your world work out, and then like any actual story or like plot happening about any of those things never materializes. It's all just dates and timelines and stuff, right? So it's like, of course, yes, this show will be like, and then they did all the stuff happened, and now this nation is war ready or whatever, right? But like, none of the actual events or drama about those things happening happen on screen, right?
It's almost like some of the backstory than the story.
Yeah.
Well, because it's almost because some of it, and part of this is probably intentional, and part of it is just happens to be narratively convenient. It's almost being presented as a like historical documentary or something, in that the narrator will jump in and say, and then when an Aotaro is 18, you know, he was 18 years old at this point, and he did this, and this, and this, or you know, what's her name? Did this and this, and they'll have like the little interlude with like a little graphic or something, right? And so like, like I said, in some ways I think it's kind of intentional, because maybe they're trying to present it as some sort of like historical thing, but then also sure is convenient that we can just skip all this stuff by telling you, and you know, and then you just don't care, right? I think to me, because we were talking about having like none of the nuance on these concepts or whatever, I don't know if the show is attempting to say anything, or they just want to tell their, like you said, Iro, is it just, I want to show off this world I built, this idea of what if you had a new warring states period, you know, in a post-apocalyptic setting, and the, you know, I like the concepts and aesthetics of that, but I don't have any anything interesting to say with it at all. Because like a big, because like the ideas are there, but it's like there's no.
What do you want to explore with this alternate world, right? Like,
and when we look at Legend of Galactic Heroes, yeah, sure, this takes place 500 plus years in the future in space, but there is like a real present day connection. Part of the message of that show is that things never change, right? Like.
Right.
We see there's so many parallels, and that was a show that aired 30 40 years ago or something at this point, right? And yet we're seeing the same things happening.
The cycle of violence will continue.
Shiki Tanaka wrote that 40 years ago, whatever. He was seeing the same things happening then, and we're seeing the same things happening now, and he's saying we'll see the same things happening. People won't change 500 years in the future, right? I don't feel that connection with this show at all. It just feels like a
Would you say it's kind of using the because it sounds like it is interested in projecting politics. Would you say it's kind of dressing up in the clothes of being a political story without actually committing to the substance?
It's taking real pieces of politics,
right,
and kind of assembling them together into a plot that makes sense, I guess. But like.
It more closely resembles like isekai politics than real politics to me.
Or like it's almost like
there's
it's not,
so much just like
it's almost like it's not
a thing. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys would agree, but I feel like it's not really engaging with whether what the characters are doing is right or wrong, other than like the Tyra guy who's like supposed to be slobbering evil.
I mean, I don't even
villain.
I even have a lot of issues with like that character is actually a great like encapsulation of like my issue with the portrayal of the politics in Nippon Sangoku, right? Like, okay, so you have this character Denki Taira, who is this like corrupt corrupt secretary of the state or whatever. He's like the highest like reigning politician in the land, and also he has the ear of the emperor, who is like the actual like authority, but is functionally a figurehead, right? And so functionally Denki Taira runs the show, right? And he has, placed members of his family across the like highest like levers of the government, and blah blah blah, right? It's classic like strongman corrupt government stuff, right? I feel like the big problem I have with him is like, okay, he is a, slavering evil, anime fat bastard villain, right? Sure. Okay. Guess what? There's a lot of those in real life politics too, right? That is actually not the issue I have. The issue I have is that a lot of his decisions just feel like they are just evil and self-destructive for the sake of just being evil and self-destructive with no obvious like sense of like self-enrichment involved. Like for comparison, Denki Taira, for listeners of for people who watch the Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Denki Taira is functionally this show's Job Trunnicht. He is a politician who is quote unquote on the side of our protagonists, but is so clearly motivated by self-interest that he is willing to like sacrifice the livelihood of the entire nation he is ostensibly charged with stewarding for his own self-betterment. And thus, when his actions accelerate the end of the FPA, that does not functionally affect him. His betterment is independent of the success of the FPA. Thus, it makes sense he would take actions that destroy the nation but better enrich him. I don't get that read from Taira. Every action this guy has done in this show would also harm him in the long run. Yeah. So, like, you can't even argue, he's doing this out of self-interest. It seems like he's just doing it to be, like, the biggest, dumbest caricature of an evil, self-destructive politician. Right. And, like, what politics are there to read from that? That, yeah, some politicians are corrupt and evil? Yeah, no shit, dude. Like, I can look outside. Like, what are you saying about this particular brand of, like, hooligan, crony politician? Like,
it's nothing. It's just, we want you to understand that this guy is bad. And, because, like, in this episode, for example, when he goes against the advice of the general to go and what is obviously going to be a trap is what we're building up to, right? Mm-hmm. I was waiting for he's secretly getting paid off by
by
somebody
the rival
at,
nation or something.
and
yeah.
maybe that will come up later. I don't know, but at least in this episode, it hasn't. And there was just he's just making a dumb decision, I guess, to flex his
played
power.
It's played off as him trying to get rid of the general.
Or I guess he's trying to get rid of Ryumon, which I don't know how that really. I guess it kind of helps him politically a little bit, but not. I don't know. It's. It's just not. It doesn't feel like it's accomplishing anything, right? So, Ira, how are you feeling? Because I know you were more down on this. I think I was more with you on being down on it too. But like,
yeah, basically how we've spoken about just now, right? Like, I'm not really getting anything interesting out of this show. Like, it still looks very nice visually, like presentationally, but yeah, the plot is just borderline meaningless to me. I don't have any interest in these nations and why they're warring, because why they're warring is kind of boiling down to because they have to for the plot. And so that, these dudes can demonstrate their facts and logic, their brilliant stratagems.
One more thing I want to add before we keep moving on it. My other thing that I don't really like is I think the show is way too silly. And this is coming from me, guys. Like, you know how much I love like black humor and like injecting some humor into like really dark situations and stuff when done well. Well, hey, we got Dorohedoro later, right? I don't think it works at all. I don't think it works here. The way that they're, it just does. It doesn't work. Like, why does the leader of the other faction have to be like, oh, she's a cute girl or whatever, and then like, they're making jokes as they're like chopping people's heads off and stuff, but it's not like serving any purpose other than just being like goofy and lighthearted. Like, we want to inject some anime comedy in here. I don't know. It just doesn't. The mix does not work well for me in this particular instance, which is just like, there's so many. We've talked a long time about the show because there's something in here, right?
Yeah.
There's interesting pieces. It's fascinating to kind of break apart, but just again, it's just not all.
It's not coming together.
So I don't know. I might be out. We'll see.
I feel like I'm holding out just long enough to see, like, if this is how this show portrays like political maneuvering. I kind of almost now need to see this show's portrayal of military tactics just to like complete in my head the picture of like what type of like keyboard warrior military history like brain this author has.
Is Aotearou going to stop an entire battle with his facts and logic?
Yes, right.
That's almost definitely going to happen at some point.
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I've only been watching because of curiosity and not necessarily because I'm enjoying it, but it's just kind of a fascinating from a critical point of view watching. But
yeah, it's a shame because I
if I didn't have an anime podcast, I would have tried that.
Right, I do
the
think
most damning possible thing to say.
For all its faults, I still do think it is one of the more visually interesting shows this season. I really do love the style it's going for. I would love to see this style utilized in an anime I care more about.
You could just a few tweaks, and this could be an amazing
anime. Yeah.
It's just a few tweaks. We could do it, and just we're not there, and I don't think it's going to happen. All right. Well, speaking of things I'm only watching because I'm just curious what's going to happen. Let's talk about Eren the Southpaw. So, if you recall last time, I had watched only the first 2 episodes were out, and they were both flashback episodes, and I kind of wanted to keep watching just to see, because I wanted to understand, like, what is this show, right? What is it about, or whatever.
Right.
And so in the first 2 episodes were both flashbacks to the main guy's high school days and how he chose to be a graphic designer and wanted to go join a big ad agency and everything, right?
Right.
So in episode 3, then he does in fact we stay in flashback mode because we skip to his first day at the big ad agency, and we kind of see him. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work real hard and do all this stuff, and then they're like, yeah, whatever guy, right?
Okay, a sucker, got it.
Yeah, I'll just preface this. I hate this guy. So like he and even one of the old guys is like, nah, man, it's not like that these days. You know, there's the old guy who's gonna retire soon, right? And it's not as encouraged to be working all night and everything anymore and all that, right? And I'm like, okay, right. Sure, whatever. And that's not what they're going with on this one. This dude's like, no, I am going to work all night to prove to everybody that graphic design is my passion. And
wait, this show is pro crunch.
and his direct supervisor, who's like still young, but he's like a couple years older than him. He's like 30 or something, right? Is like also like, yeah, let's go get him and everything. And you don't know what you're talking about, old man. And yeah, and so they crunch their way through, and they get. I won't get into all the details, but basically they think things are going really well, but in the end, they're like, no, you don't have enough experience. You don't get to go on the big project this time, right? Because that's just how the office, politics work and everything. And so
we've replaced you with an AI.
Yeah, and then I'm like, all right, so we're still in flashback mode. I'll try to watch one more episode. I tried to watch episode 4, and I couldn't do it. I skimmed through it,
man,
because I just want to see what happened. So, look, when you're going into a flashback and a flashback, and you're starting to lose me. Like I was even getting confused because they like time skipped and then they flashback further to like his there was a lot of focus on his supervisor guy, and we flashback to his like 1992 when he was like a teenager.
Well, you're telling me that this show pulls a Eureka 7 High Evolution 1?
So
no,
like
it's not that incoherent.
At this point, like is the eponymous Eren even like
she has not shown up in 4 episodes, other than she was like so. The only
I'd be
time
kind of into a show where she never showed up. A la how
well, okay, she does show up. I'm going to build up to her appearance in this episode. The only time that she kind of shows up is when he's getting lost and is running out of creative energy. He'll remember the passion that she had or something. There's one bit where he's trying to make a logo, and like he imagines Eren, and like you see this like split screen of like both of their hands going out with a pen drawing. It's very. I should also mention, like, everybody's very passionate. Everyone's like constantly screaming, like they're like, "Yes, I will get this done," and like just like
I will design this can of baked beans to the utmost.
Yeah. So anyway, so episode 4 kind of shows more of his like supervisor's perspective and what he was doing kind of behind the scenes to try to get him and the main guy and his team like on this big project and everything. And in the end, they still don't make it into the project, but the main guy's happy because the logo that he designed is the one that they're going to use for the project, right? And he's like, I'm just happy that my logo is going to get out there. I'm so passionate about graphic design. I just want people to see
no one's going to know it's you. You have to get credit for that. Like,
and so he does.
Congratulations, your logo will adorn this bottle of Preparation H.
So he does get credit. Because the very final shot of the episode is we finally see Eren, and she is at a bookstore, and she picks up a like there's these trade annual publications for design. It's like the best graphic design of whatever, and so there's one from Japan that she picks up, and she sees the ad or the logo that the guy made. He got in the book. And the ad is for like a sport drink, like Pocari Sweat type thing, right? And
sure.
Sorry, listeners, I'm going to post what this looks like. This amazing, because everyone's like, this is an amazing, groundbreaking.
I can't wait for this. I can't wait.
It's so creative and way out there and everything. Even the old men up at the top had to acknowledge that this is the logo we're going to go with for this big project.
Oh man!
I'll post in the show notes, listeners, but I'm going to hit you guys with it right now. Here we go.
Live reacts.
Oh my god.
Graphic design truly is his passion.
Oh man!
My fucking Microsoft Word 6 word art.
Yes,
like,
it's Microsoft. Yes, for the listeners, it's like the Microsoft Word art. You get to like put the words like on an angle, right?
Oh,
the stuff I did
man.
make
The little drop
invitations.
shadow.
Yeah,
You
the
hit-
stuff
you
I
hit
did
it-
to
you-
make
you-
invitations for my 9th birthday party.
You double clicked on the layer and turned on chisel bevel in Photoshop. Man,
I don't know.
this
I
is-
think that's just a stroke and a drop shadow.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that just? Oh,
Yeah.
they didn't.
I don't even
do
think
a
there's a-
bevel.
I don't even think there's a-
man.
I don't even think there's a drop shadow.
Oh,
Sunny
Yeah,
Try is supposed to be Suntory. Like,
I think
Yeah,
Sunny tries probably be Suntory. Yeah.
Probably.
That
yeah.
probably makes
This
more
is
sense
this is
in
the
like
we've always
Angie.
talked about this, right? We're like sometimes we talk about like, okay, well, like how do you portray military tactics as genius if you yourself are not a genius tactician?
Yeah.
Or how do you portray music as being like transcendent if you have not hired a like transcendent composer for your soundtrack, right? It is the
How do you like the best song in the world if you're not the best band in the world?
Right, exactly. It is Carol and Tuesday saying, "No, you see, this generic pop song ended Mars racism."
Yes.
And I become increasingly convinced that Shirobako was the smartest anime in the world by explicitly saying that the anime that they are the anime they are making at the end of the show, that's like supposed to be the big triumphant moment of this like studio like overcoming the odds, is like an above average adaptation of a
Right.
moderately successful like
Yes.
magical girl show or something.
I will say, G. Even in the context of that, they could have done better than this.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? It's like, hey, maybe you should set the bar way lower so that
People
Maybe
making
they
Eren the
should have hired
Southpaw,
him.
call me up. I could have done a better logo for you than this.
I was going to say they clearly did not hire an actual graphical designer.
I think that's
Like,
the thing, right? Like the world where like yes, the world that they hired in it's like in
Yakuza
Gachiakudo.
has the graffiti
So
artist.
Gachiakudo, which has a lot of graffiti in it, a lot of graffiti culture influences the aesthetic. Gachiakudo has an actual graffiti consultant to be like, hey, this is what good graffiti looks like. So it is living up to the aesthetic that you are establishing in your work, right? Like,
Mhm.
look, I have a lot of respect for graphic designers, so what I'm about to say is like not meant to denigrate graphic designers. Even for the shoestring budget of anime, I don't think it would cost that much to get even a like moderately decent graphic designer to come on your show and just be like, hey, can you
I mean,
like
I follow 24 people on Blue Sky who could do better graphic design than this
Yeah.
for like $10 and a ham sandwich. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, people making Eren the Southpaw, you can DM me on Blue Sky at GelX. Throw me some, merch or something. I don't know, whatever. No, wait, I hate this show. I don't want merch. Never mind.
Man.
So 4 episodes in, I still don't know what the show is about. I guess being passionate about your art or whatever, but like also not sure how that is actually manifesting in what's happening on the screen. I can't even tell if we're still in a flashback.
Man.
Like, are we gonna jump forward again? Because I think timeline wise, we're at like 2007 now or something, and I'm like, are we still in a flashback? Are we ever gonna actually see Eren, or is this guy gonna keep living off the memories of like meeting this girl twice in high school?
That would be so fucking funny if this show is just about some dude who just like creates like an
Became
Eren
obsessed with
tulpa
this woman.
that
or,
just
like,
like
This ideal.
motivates his every action. And like we never actually meet the real Eren, except maybe at the very end we meet the real Eren, and it is nothing like the version he has invented in his head.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, I was going
I
to say you meet her at the end and she's like become a lawyer or something.
God. Well, okay.
Okay. So we do know for a fact that she did become a famous artist.
Yeah, she
that is
became
one
a
thing that we
famous
know.
artist. I think
But-
I made this same joke when we talked about the first
Yes,
episode.
and I don't think this show is that smart or bold to do that. I think they just wanted to have a bunch of people yelling about their passion for art. So I'm done. I couldn't even fully watch episode 4. So I'm done with the show. I just wanted to get that one good bit in for the podcast, basically, because that was just too good to
that is
to pass up.
man.
So I don't know. Anyway, let's move on then. Let's talk about Witch Hat Atelier.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
What a nice looking show.
There's a lot of cool flying sequences.
I have seen in the how the Anime News Network does their like top shows poll thing.
Right, yeah.
So this has been at the top, and I've been happy to see Dorohedoro has been up there. Unfortunately, it's also been up there with ReZero, which I didn't realize was back.
Well,
again.
look, that show is a very big deal for me.
So you take what you can get, but I'm sure it's quite popular. But has anything particularly interesting or notable happened in the past 2 episodes?
I think the latest episode, and to a certain extent the episode before it, sort of... It made me realise that there's still way more shonen in this show that I don't want, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but like the most recent episode is almost all we're fighting this stupid-ass dragon in this labyrinth maze. And like there's lots of cool and sick action and all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm not sure I really needed this in this show.
It is definitely the first like major narrative sequence after the introduction, all right?
Yes.
And it is sort of an establishment of, I guess we could say, the stakes of Witch Hat Atelier, right? Like,
they're definitely cranking up the drama.
Yes, we are introduced to the concept of the brimmed caps, who are the sort of exiled persona non grata witches who did not like sign the like witch nuclear de-armament treaty functionally, and yeah, I think like it's kind of interesting. Like in many ways, as someone who is familiar with the manga, this section here is like kind of a fascinating like relic of like Witch Hat Atelier. To be clear, there are other arcs of this style later in the story.
Oh, I'm sure.
But like it's kind of interesting that like it's almost like unintentionally Witch Hat Atelier's author created sort of a perfect like mini arc for your like hypothetical one core animated adaptation, if that makes sense, right? Like this is almost like purposely situated to be the the cool, the cool Sakuga thing you have halfway through the first season to like to get the shonen kids through the door, right? I do think that I think and I have like made our comments about like Witch Hat Atelier and our feelings on it and how it's a very pleasant show, but it is not necessarily revelatory. I think I think to its credit, I will say like the thing that is kind of I guess the thing that sort of differentiates Witch Hat Atelier from something of the more standard shonen fare, right, is yeah, so basically the girls have been caught in this like magical labyrinth. They fall into the trap of one of the brimmed caps, and they're stuck in this labyrinth with a dragon, and they're currently trying to find their way out. And I think the important thing that like keeps this interesting, right, is that like the story is more about the conflict and sort of the self-perception of Coco and her relationship with her fellow apprentices than necessarily the material threat of the dragon itself. Like the dragon is a threat, but it is a material threat that exists along with the more like social tension of Coco's feelings of inadequacy as one of the apprentices of Kifre.
Right, and I understand that, and I think there are some good character moments in this episode. It just kind of feels like they're trying to turbocharge that stuff by strapping it to the side of this big dragon battle, right?
And,
like,
I think that is often like a function of how a lot of manga and anime operate, right? Is the spectacle is there to be a vehicle for whatever is the character storytelling or theme the author wants to get across. And to be fair, like it is not a like we have to like Kamehameha the dragon, right? I think the thing that makes this like work for me is the like I mean explicitly in this universe, right? A witch is someone who does not use their magic for violence, right? Like a witch who uses their magic for violence is a brimmed cap, is a taboo witch, right? And so yes, obviously wavering hand, but like that is as presented. That is the conflict between the peaked capped witches and the brimmed cap witches. And so as these apprentices are apprentices of the conventional style of witchery, like they need to find out a non-violent solution to the problem, right? And I think like this is the part where this show begins to feel very like, yes, like this is a show for like your 13-year-old niece or something, right? Like this is like it's about these girls using their luck and pluck and their ingenuity to come up with an out of the box solution for the dragon. And
there's definitely quite a bit of, well, if I use my stand in this way, then trying to use somewhat basic powers in interesting and creative ways. And I appreciate that. Yes. They are doing a good job of like setting up the fundamental rules of magic and sticking by them, but still giving them a fun twist.
Yeah, and I do think though that at the end of the day, like what really carries this, and I mean again, what carried it in the manga as well, is the like extremely like gorgeous production, right? Yes. I would say episode 5 of which Hat Atelier is, this is the one, right? Like this is the when you want to put post clips of this show online, you're gonna grab them from episode 5, right? This
top
is
12 epic Sakuga moments.
Exactly. Like it is an exemplary bit of production, and I would say not even in the like big spectacle either. I think the character acting in episode 5 is actually also really excellent. There's a lot of good like hand gestures and subtle facial expressions at work that I think help do a lot of the like character storytelling here, right? Like you have like bits where like Agot, the dark hair, the most acerbic of the apprentices, right? She's very quick to like accuse Coco of this or that, right? And like the moment Coco even like pushes slightly back on Agot, she immediately goes on the defensive in a way that feels very like, you had that kind of childhood growing up, huh? Like, you're that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's communicated very effectively in her mannerisms, her acting, both voice and physical or visual. And yeah, I think like this is not a bad show. And to be clear, I think even if the show did not look this good, it would still have its merits. But I do think Witch Hat Atelier is definitely one of those shows this season that is again, perhaps a little bit like Freyrin in the sense that the material is solid, is hell. It's occasionally even good, but it is definitely the visual presentation that is going above and beyond for elevating this material.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I find it fascinating, sort of the tension between the various manifestations of the show that are on display. I think that I'm interested to see where it comes down on cozy anime versus dramatic anime, almost,
right?
Because I think that
that's less of a genre division in Japan, I think. Like,
right, yes, absolutely. And it's not like, just to use an obvious example, Little Witch Academia didn't also successfully blend some of those factors, but it does feel a little bit like the action parts almost feel like an intrusion, and I don't mean that in as pejorative a sense as it sounds. It's just interesting to see sort of the direction that they're taking this in, and yeah, I mean, like I binged these 5 episodes over the last week. For the most part, I really enjoyed it there, but I think I'm ready for the show to sort of start putting some flesh on the bones a bit, and obviously it looks like that's where they're going.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I would definitely say these first 5 episodes are, I mean, they're doing the thing that many manga do starting out, and anime as well, right? It is it is throwing the flash and substance your way, right? Because that is often, for better or worse, right, that is how you get people to stay around, right? But I think I think the show will have some will definitely have some interesting things to get into during the rest of the season. If I recall correctly, I mean, I think also the other thing is, I think they went hard with the spectacle because if I recall the events of the manga correctly, I think this is kind of all you're getting this season.
I mean, based on the opening, I think that they will reach the next big exam arc.
You know what, they probably will.
Just based on the characters who appear in the opening.
Yes, you are correct. Yes, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like the spectacle in this show is sort of far and few between. For the most part.
It is not always in fight mode.
So we will be getting the cozy anime for a bit. Is what we're thinking.
I mean, also shout out to like. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say this is something I was talking about with Aqua actually when we were watching this episode, these episodes, which is I wish how to put this. I wish there was at least one male apprentice because, and I know why there isn't, but as it is, it just kind of feels like, oh, this is a show where you watch cute girls do cute things, and I think it's better than that, and I would like it. It feels like they pulled the curtain back just a touch too far, if that makes sense. I wish they did not have to pander to that demographic.
Zig, to clarify, like you're saying, it feels like a cute girls doing cute things show, but it's probably not really that. But it kind of feels like it is in that direction because there's no boys or
not even that. It's just that it feels like there are only female characters because they're pandering to an audience, right? And I don't know why it is in this case, but I think it's because everything around it is so much better constructed. I think I feel that artifice a little bit more here, and I think having a male character as one of the apprentices would just make the sort of the targeting. Well, it would remove the feeling that it's kind of it's just like a weird lingering bit of otaku bait, which I don't think the show needs, quite frankly.
I could definitely see that. I think just I see
where you're coming from, but
I think just what I know of the author and what is presented in the manga, I definitely suspect that was not the I don't think that was the intention of the reasoning for all the apprentices being female. I think it is probably much closer to a how would I put it? I think the motivation is probably closer to just the author is female, and I think there was a sense of she wanted to make a story for.
Okay, I did not actually know that.
Female readers, right? Not that this is shoujo, to be clear. It is still published in what I believe is a seinen magazine.
Yeah. But the fact that the author is female, I did not know that, and that casts it in a more sympathetic light.
I think this is more intended to be a girls' fiction written by women,
Sure. Okay. I mean, I think that I still think that the point stands because death of the author and all that, but
of course.
And it's hard not to be cynical after all the years we've been spent watching anime, but I will admit learning that fact does mitigate it a fair bit for me.
I mean, I think it's fair, right? Because hey, obviously there are many all-female there are many majority female genres that are still clearly written for a male audience, right? So it is an understandable thing to point out, but in this particular case, I think this is more because of the. Again, which Hat Atelier is very I would say YA coded, right? It's very.
I think that sort of plays into its sort of weird chameleonic tendency, right? I think part of this is just I'm having trouble pinning down exactly what to expect from it, and honestly, that's a good thing. It just leaves me feeling a little bit off balance, right?
Sure,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that will continue on then, I guess. I mean, you guys are enjoying it, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would say again a very pleasant show to watch, and
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to a show that we've got back on our list now that we're past our first looks, and we can get back to talking about Digimon, Beatbreak, the somehow maybe the most unhinged show on our list. What it's been a while since we've talked about it. What kind of war crimes and other things have happened?
The Joker and Harley Quinn tried to blow up a hospital. Had to be stopped by our heroes.
I mean, that's just an episode of Batman the Animated Series.
Did somebody start a war in Iran?
Almost. There was certainly an attempted war in a desert, formerly prosperous desert kingdom. So
I was going to say, has Commandomon or whatever made any further appearances?
He has.
Yes, actually.
Yes? Oh, yeah, let's go.
Oh my god, that's right. I forgot. We didn't give a chance to talk about that fucking episode. Right, the guy who was Commandermon's partner, reappears because the PMC, the paramilitary organization, has been dismantled. So he's no longer, imprisoned by them, and so he comes back with some sort of fluffy pink Digimon that's attached itself to him, and this is like, wow, oh my darling, and so that thing, whose name I don't remember, in Commandermon must have a cooking battle to decide who gets to be this guy's Digimon for real.
Sure.
And so this pink thing makes, its specialty pink curry, that it was taught to cook by its former master. And this guy goes to take a bite of his pink curry, and he flashes back to many years ago, and he was still in the paramilitary organization with Commandermon. And he remembers sneaking into a cabin where this man was about to eat his pink curry and killing him. And he's like, oh no, I killed her former master.
And so now the pink fluffy Digimon is like, well, now I have to kill you because I swore vengeance. But also you're my master. So big emotional scene.
I was going to say about black humor earlier.
I know.
So does Commandermon just heat up an MRE?
Yeah, I was going to say.
He makes fried bread.
Oh, okay.
Elizamon is the weird.
Elizamon, okay, sure.
Yes. And so that's insane.
That was our one-off comedy filler episode between arcs, kinda, right?
That's the comedy filler episode.
Yep.
Yeah, kinda.
You killed?
Well, there was the
master.
There was the cruise ship episode, but that was nothing.
What you mean, the episode where the Digimon tried to abduct all these children? Like,
all right, I guess the cruise ship did get attacked by Somali pirates. That's right.
I mean, from what you guys have told me, child kidnapping is just like a Tuesday,
right?
Show.
So
that's,
but yeah, the latest episode, right?
Yeah, we should talk about becoming the Joker.
Jokermon.
Yes.
Literally Jokermon and his partner, Holly.
They're not even trying to hide it.
Looks like Harley Quinn.
Yes, has her face painted like Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Anyway, this episode is about how determined Jokermon is to murder a guy.
Yes.
Okay.
They've been hired or otherwise trying to kill an executive, a corporate executive.
The implication is that they have killed quite a few people up to this point. It's certainly enough to qualify as a serial killer.
Yes.
So firstly, Jokermon tries to run over this guy with a giant truck.
Mm-hmm.
Then when the guy's in hospital recovering from almost being run over by a giant truck, he tries to jump the giant truck off a bridge and through the hospital window to kill him.
Right. This guy's like an executive of a FedEx or a shipping company.
Not the most efficient method.
No,
but these all seem like things that Mark Hamill's Joker would do so far.
Yep.
And then he reveals that he actually has half a dozen of the giant trucks packed with explosives in the basement car park of the hospital, and he's going to blow them up and kill everyone in the hospital because, why take one when you can take a whole bunch of people there? And at the same time, he's also fighting the other Digimon, and he has a scythe, and it's so hilariously edgy. It's incredible. It's so good.
Jokermon. Just
Yes.
literally Jokermon.
I had to Google to make sure you guys. I was like, okay,
No,
what's
it was
his
not
actual
good.
name? No, this
That's
thing is
just
literally
Joker.
called Jokermon.
Yes, and so what? Yes, we stopped the by
We stopped the Joker doing 9/11.
by digivolving back to cyborg dinosaur. We stopped the Joker, and everything's a-okay now. And then they get home and watch the news, and the news claims that this corporate executive killed himself in his hospital room.
And that's the end of the episode.
It's like,
Hell yeah.
the organization that
Hired Joker.
hired the Joker still just got him off screen.
Yeah.
Right. Because, as part of the shipping company, he was actually shipping Digimon illegally.
So it was good to kill him.
And
Yes.
as we recall, smuggling Digimon involves smuggling their human partners, so it's human trafficking.
Okay. Well, I mean, he was a CEO, right?
I mean, this whole time you
Something
said,
like
the
that.
Jokermon's trying to kill a CEO. I was like, you haven't said he's done anything bad yet. You know?
No, it did. It became bad when it was, I'm going to blow up the entire
Yeah,
hospital.
well, sure,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
see, that's
yes.
bad, right? Yes, obviously collateral, yes, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just... I thought it would become maybe a little less edgy when we left behind when we finished the paramilitary organization arc,
Yeah.
right? And no, now we're in the cult that's trying to
Right,
from
yes.
Digimon supremacist cult arc.
Yeah, the actual plot
Digimon
of the episode.
supremacist cult.
Yeah, the actual plot of the episode is mysterious girl shows up and is full of vaguely foreboding things to say.
Who would be the most who is the most reactionary Digimon?
Who's the most right-wing Digimon?
Yeah, reactionary right. What?
Tentamon.
Tentamon.
No.
What?
Leomon.
Oh, you would do that to Leomon?
Well, he hasn't learned and become Bancho Leomon yet. God, I don't know.
Plus, he always dies, and right-wing figures have a habit of dying. So,
God.
All right. Well,
anyway, yes, it continues to be hilariously edgy,
Yes,
but edgy in a way that 8-year-olds can still watch it. It's great, in
Sure.
other words.
I feel like if my nephew, who's now getting older here, if he was 5 years younger, he would probably love that.
Yeah, I
absolutely.
mean, I don't know. He'd see when the guy was like, they destroyed my country for the rare metals, and he would ask you, what are rare metals?
And you would go watch the news.
All right. Well, I guess I continue to enjoy hearing what wild things are happening out of context.
The thing is, we're not
Digimon.
even exaggerating.
No, yeah, that's great.
No,
thing,
and that's
right?
great. Look, I actively look forward to every Commandramon update. So
Commandramon will return in.
I don't remember what the actual point of the show was or anything. I just
They're
think
just cleaners who fight the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
you'll need to tell me when he inevitably digivolves. Does Commandramon digivolve into High Commandramon?
Oh.
Or does he digivolve into Sealsdramon, the Navy SEALs variant? Or does he go somewhere unexpected, like digivolve into Guardramon or Clockmon?
Guardramon's just like the robot.
Yes, I know.
Whenever they need crappy muck Digimon to be blown up, a Guardramon is sure to show up.
So I think Sealsdramon showed up in Ghost Game, right? And it was shooting people.
Probably.
It was still Sniper Digimon. Anyway, Ghost Game was a long time ago.
I hate that. Look, to your joke about if Jel's nephew was younger. I feel like me being little burgeoning military otaku since I was a kid. If this show aired when I was a kid, bro, I'm turning Guardramon into my new personality. All right.
I mean, this is
telling
definitely.
me there's a Digimon with a gun.
There's a lot of Digimon.
Okay, fine, yes, but you know what I mean specifically.
This is definitely an 8-year-old's idea of a show for 13-year-olds.
Okay, you're telling me there's a Digimon with a gun and a plate carrier?
No, all right, yeah.
All right.
I pray that one day we will get Gundramon in anime form.
Yeah.
Has Gundramon never been animated?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Look at what it looks like, and then imagine trying to animate.
Oh, I know. That's why I want to see it.
Pokemon could never.
It's true.
Anyway,
before the reveal actually happened, like people were joking for years with Chainsaw Man. Like, is the Gun Devil just gonna be Gundramon?
Might as well be. Fuck.
You could have replaced Gundramon with like 20 other different Digimon, and it would still be. Anyway, next week Gekamon gets hooked on crystal meth or something like that.
No, I think it's what like a. I think the next episode is already titled "Toxic Fandom."
Oh right, yeah.
Oh no,
they're coming for the greatest of societies.
Right. Based on the next episode preview, I think it's like Mayota-Spawn / Vimdabad is like becoming a vampire. Is becoming a like internet groomer.
Idol? The other way around. Okay.
Male idol internet groomer.
I was about to say
beat up for the girls, so I can.
I was about to say, is it going to be Idolmon gets stalked by Otakumon or something?
God. All right.
I just always also laugh whenever any Digimon that showed up in the original series reappears in a different context, right? Because then I point and go, "It's that guy."
Yes, always a pleasure.
Like one of the villains has Palmon.
No, the villains have Palmon.
No.
I know, right?
But yeah. Anyway, show's wild.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to Go For It Nakamura-kun, continuing to fluctuate between pissing me off and being arguably the best thing I'm watching this season. Well, that's not
one of those.
That's some hard swings.
Yeah. So we I don't have to rehash the whole thing last time, but if you recall, I was like, I don't want the boys love genre meta commentary seeping into this anime, right? And I don't think I wouldn't quite say they go. Yeah, they kind of do. So like in episode 4, I was the kind of the running theme through these 2 episodes is like Nakamura kind of sucks.
Oh,
he's like kind of jealous and like it, but
he is a teenager.
Yeah, who among us does not suck?
Like the show is acknowledging that he needs to clean this up, which he kind of does in the second episode, right? But anyway, but episode 4 specifically is about him being jealous because his crush Hirose is, he's got this other friend that he's always hanging out with, and he's like, oh, something going on there. He's like, no, I'm probably imagining it. And then, they're hanging out, and he's like, hey, bro, punched him in the arm. He's like, why is he touching him? And you're like, oh, come on, you're just imagining it, Nakamura-kun. And then they'll cut to like Hirose's like sitting on his lap in class. And then I'm like,
man, it's just 2 bros chilling with each other.
Yeah, it's like, hey, bro, why don't you sit on my lap? We can read this magazine together. And I'm like, And then later on, he's like, come on, bro, let's hold hands while we're walking down the hallway. And I'm like, I think I might be with you on this one, Nakamura.
How much of this is like real and how much is this like Nakamura's delusions?
Well, no, it's definitely happening.
Okay.
So it is happening, and like he's not imagining it. It's like really happening. And like, where are we going with this? And eventually it is revealed, and this almost made me quit again.
Oh dear. Child friend is girl, actually.
They reveal that the guy that he's hanging out with knows that the girl he has a crush on is really into BL.
Oh.
And he thought he could get her attention by flirting with another guy in class.
They're doing in-universe gay baiting?
And so since that's his bro that he normally hangs out with anyway, he convinced him to
play along,
kind of be a little flirty to catch her attention.
Oh man.
And once this gets revealed, because Nakamura is like pissed the whole time, right? And finally he's like, but he's not like brave enough to actually say anything, so he's just kind of passive aggressively being like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, right? And he's like, what's your problem, man, or whatever. And then they talk about it, and once the plan gets revealed, it's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Did you really think that was going to work? And in the end, it was kind of funny, I got to admit, but not the direction I wanted to go. And then they keep leaning into it for the rest of the episode with like, now Hirose is he seems to be very interested in their cool teacher guy, right? Like they're who's like, he's kind of young, he's cool, he smokes cigarettes.
Whoa.
Which they're like, man, that's so cool, which is very funny to me. I guess they're leaning into the 80s aesthetic.
Yeah, I was
right?
like, look, it was still the 80s, the 90s, so yes.
Well, no. I don't think I've ever talked about this. This actually does take place in like 2013 or something.
What?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
They have.
You have mentioned it before that it is set in the present day. It's just
well, by present day I mean like 10 years ago, but still, like they have like
modern, I'm old, I get it.
Yeah, they have like smartphones and stuff, right? Which is always funny, weird when they break that out. But
I guess if you were smoking in 2013, that probably still comes off as cool.
Yeah. I think too.
There are many bad things about smoking. And
are you telling me what? Are you going to say here on the podcast that in 2013 you didn't think Spike Spiegel was cool?
You do have to have
Dude, I was over 28 in 2013.
You have to achieve a minimum level of coolness beforehand, but smoking is cool. There's no denying it. Let's all be adults here. Smoking is cool.
I mean, but everyone in Nippon Sangoku is smoking at all times, and there's a disclaimer that do not do underage smoking.
Yeah, there's like this when there's in one of in the second episode, there's like this beautifully shot, just one shot of the teacher like leaning against the building, taking a drag on the cigarette as the smoke is like wafting away, and it's just like the sun's going down and the lighting's perfect and everything, and all the boys are like, oh man, he's so cool. So
I get it.
What was it Roger Ebert said? I don't approve of smoking except in the movies.
Yes.
Anyway,
so that's kind of the theme going through the first episode of, Nakamura is just jealous of everybody that Hirose is talking to or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's mostly played up for, typical anime rom-com, mild misunderstanding or whatever. But there is like a kind of a it's both funny but then kind of a turning point where Hirose kind of gets in trouble with the teachers because like the disciplinary committee is going around and like yelling at people for having dyed hair, and he has like naturally light colored hair, and he's like, no, really, it's my real hair color. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And he ends up talking back to the teacher, getting in trouble, and like they're gonna like shave his head at one point, like after it escalates, and
idol style,
and they're coming in with the clippers, and you think like Nakamura is gonna dive in, who's watching this whole thing to save him or whatever, and no. It is the cool teacher that dives in, right? And Nakamura is just like, I suck. But this leads him to be, want to be better. And that leads into the second episode, which I was actually both surprised and very impressed with, because the second episode, they kind of completely changed the tone to like this very slow, quiet, and kind of serious, very like reflective episode. And it's the class trip episode, so like you think it's going to be like fun,
wacky
exciting anime.
Did they go to Kyoto, Hokkaido, or Okinawa?
I don't remember if they specifically pick a place, but it would be closest to Kyoto. Let's say.
Okay.
Sure, they went to historic city.
The three class trip.
Yes, historic city. Although they spend a lot of time in Chinatown. That was a big highlight for them.
That could then actually be where's is that that could be Yokohama then actually.
It might have been Yokohama now that I'm thinking about it.
Large shot attack,
I couldn't rember if they actually said where they went, because
could it have been Los Angeles?
It was definitely not Los Angeles, but yes.
How come there weren't any weed?
New Japanifornia from the Ace Attorney games,
Yes, yeah, there were no weed dispensaries around. So, but they switch over, and that mood with the art style is just like chef's kiss perfect, like very sort of like slow, quiet, pensive, reflective, as Nakamura's trying to figure out how do I even just to get to be friends with this guy, right? And
I am reading it is in Yokohama.
Okay, I couldn't remember where they said it was.
Thank you, Yakuza 7, like a dragon, for teaching me everything I currently know about Yokohama.
About Yokohama, yeah. And they actually have like a really nice bonding moment where Hirose opens up to him. It's very genuine. There's no joke to it or anything like that. And, Nakamura manages to stammer his way through. He doesn't like ask him out or say, I have a crush on you or anything, but, he actually manages to make some connection with him. It's really like pretty beautiful. Like I actually got a little emotional watching it. Like, and part of it was not just the plot, but like I said, the presentation was gorgeous. Like,
right.
Combine, like, you've seen the art style and just that bit of nostalgia for talking to your first crush and all that stuff. It was very,
I mean, in a show like this, vibes are vital, right? That's an important
yes, it's a very important piece of the puzzle to enjoying the show, right? It's not just the comedy or whatever. And I was impressed that they pulled that off, because it was not really like, it wasn't like deadly serious or anything, but it was also like, being more genuine and like emotional rather than just wacky dumb anime comedy stuff, right? The Fist of the North Star guys were not showing up in this episode. Yes, right. So I was like, okay, so we got some range on this. So it was another impressive episode. Would I want the show always to be like this? Probably not, but like, it was a nice change of pace, and I think kind of helps build a more of an emotional bond with the characters. I like Nakamura and Hirose a lot more after that episode than I did going into it.
I mean, it sounds like a roller coaster, but it does sound like it is eventually hitting the points you hope it will.
Yeah. So it's. I will say, every time something like kind of that annoyed me came up, in most cases was serving some kind of later narrative purpose, right? And maybe it was not clear to me at the time when it was happening, so it was annoying. But like, they'll bring it back around. Like, whenever Nakamura is getting like off course somewhere, he's usually eventually will realize it and try to be better.
It's an opportunity for him to learn a lesson.
Right. And like I always say, if you've got like the sort of like lame duck main character dude that kind of sucks, so long as he's trying and trying to get better,
you want to see that character evolve, right?
Yeah. Then I like when they do that. Now, if he just sucks, then that's different. But I think there is some intentionality to how he's been characterized and where they're going with it and having him grow. So it's up and down, but so long as they bring it back around, I think I am still enjoying it. So
sounds like the ceiling has risen quite a bit based on that episode, right?
Yeah, and I think that episode does kind of expand the ceiling,
possibility
raise the
space,
ceiling a bit, the possibilities. I don't know if it'll go any further than that. Like we've said before, they're not going to get together at the end of this. Like, this is not going to. I don't think that's going to happen. But got
to stick by the Kimi Todoke template.
Ugh.
Yeah, or many other romantic comedies that have not been. The manga is not finished yet, right? So
yeah.
All right, let's move on. Talk about Demons of the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
How has that been going? I don't know if I'm going to ever get back. I don't know if I'm going to get back to this one, guys. But we'll.
That's fair.
We'll see.
We're busy.
But how have things been progressing with that?
Kind of slowly, I would say. Which sort of, I mean, not to make the shonen discourse power hour a part of every season, right? But it is noticeable how like much slower paced this is than your normal, like, I guess yes, just shonen action
I think,
manga, right?
So I definitely agree with you, Iro. However, I do think there is sort of an interesting, and maybe this is the thing that threw me off about this when I was reading the manga years ago. I agree that Demons of the Shadow Realm, Yomi no 2 guys here.
Right. I don't mean to say that it's a bad thing.
No, definitely not. But I wanted to kind of use your point as a jumping point, right? Is like, so I think it is a more deliberately paced shonen, but also it is strangely fast paced in other ways.
Right.
And what I mean by that,
I see what you're
getting at.
Yeah.
yes, the like actual moment to moment pacing of the story has been fairly deliberate so far. It's on the slower side, but also there is sort of a I would almost say on a meta level, there's like a distinct lack of pretension on Yomi no Tsugai in the sense that I wouldn't say explicitly, but there's almost a conversation being had between you, the reader, and Hiromu Arakawa, the author, where she is basically saying, I've written a shonen before. You've read a shonen before.
Mm-hmm.
We know how this goes. So let's just like cut the chaff and just get straight to the point, right?
Right.
And so it is slower pace in the individual moments of the characters interacting with each other, but on the larger narrative scale, like the story basically decides to like sidestep any like
Right.
because currently the plot line is that Yuru, the main character, is on the run, right? He is in hiding from the Kagamori clan, who are currently trying to hunt him down.
Right.
And
this has go at the end of like episode 3, right?
yes. And so normally under this type of premise, you think, okay, what's the next stage of a shonen? It's going to be Kagamori sends an assassin of the week, right? Like next week, we're going to send the big guy. And the week after that, we'll send the fast guy after, you, right? Like this is the way things do, right? Even the original Full Metal Alchemist, right? State Alchemist of the week, right? And kind of instead, what the show does in the latest episodes is Yuru just straight up asks his demon buddies right and left to be like, "Hey, can you just find me the headquarters of the Kagamori clan?"
We're going straight there to hash this
Going
out.
straight there. Like I don't want to pussyfoot around. I don't care to play games. I want like if they're hunting me, I'm going after them. I'm going straight to their headquarters. And,
gonna use the warp zone and just skip to the end.
And that's kind of literally what happens, right? They get into a clash with some of the Kagamoris in a parking lot, and that's a fun sequence. You could definitely tell there's a section in one of the episodes where some old Bones animators were like, please, I just want to draw some hand-drawn firearms. Please, just let me draw the bolt carrier move in real time as the gun rapid fires bullets. Like, it's like, okay, sure.
Those sickos are still getting work.
Right, the guy who like worked on Gunsmith Cats who's still at Bones. Like,
and not in jail.
Yes. And anyways, and it is a good bit, right? Because it is showing that mortal weaponry do not really affect Tsugai, and it's a good bit because it's just like,
no, it's not right and left anyway.
Yes, and it's just bullets harmlessly bouncing off of them, and they're like, "What is that? What kind of weird crossbow is that?" And then like they move up to like shotguns, grenade launchers, and submachine guns, and it's like they're like, hey, stop! That's actually like kind of getting annoying. Can you like, hey, like? So some good bits there, but basically it has culminated in Yuru is now literally in the headquarters of the Kagamoris, the clan that is hunting him down.
Right, he's like, take me to your place so I can beat Asa and get the information that I need. Right,
finally an anime well paced for 13 episodes.
A little bit, though this is in fact getting a 24 episode run.
Right. Yes,
but yes, it's kind of a fascinating thing of like. And it is almost the thing, like, this is the move of a deft hand, right? This is the move of, like, someone who is a veteran of this genre, right? Like Hiromu Arakawa, right? Someone who's
certainly someone who has... Oh, I was just going to say, certainly someone who has the confidence to deviate like, totally from the template.
And sort of in a knowing way that's like, again, you are familiar with the tenets of this genre, so, like, let's be real. You don't want to see Yuru fight the big fat guy this week and then the small fast guy next week, right? Like, you don't care about that. You want to get the plot moving along. And to that, I think, is a bold narrative choice, but I do wonder how it'll affect the overall pacing of the show as a whole, because I think sometimes you do need a little bit of that texture in these types of stories, right? Like, shonen takes a lot of inspiration from tokusatsu, and I think there's a lot of like, look, sometimes you do just want to see the writer fight monster of the week, right? Like, maybe not 50 episodes worth of it, right? But like beating up just some one-off like bozo every week does help create a sense of lived inness, I think, in these types of stories. And I think skipping that entirely, like, it makes it a little bit harder for me to like latch onto
Right.
the world of Yomi no Tsugai, I think.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because we're moving so fast into just the main bones of the artifice that we're like ignoring, you know.
Right.
Yeah. That's stuff that's often like called filler, and yes, it absolutely can be in large quantities, but also it enables you to get into a comfortable rhythm with the characters and
Yes.
the world, right? You sort of slip into understanding the characters because they are going through, you know, fairly routine actions.
Right. I mean, when you put it that way, then like I guess I'm the only person here who's like read a lot of the manga, right? And so
Yes.
like it does make some, when framed in that way, I think it does make some sense that like you were not able to get a footing yet because you were not really able to either, right? But yeah, I think you have a point. I'm burdened with knowledge of the future.
And by all means, I have done this bit before, so it's your right to pull the as a manga reader.
Yes, well, yeah. I think like once this beginning section like starts to settle down a little, like I think there is a little more of that type stuff. Like,
I mean, that's good to hear.
And just in the sense of like, all right, now we can sort of just deal with the problem, like the new problem that's appearing, as opposed to like the big problem that we're in the middle of. But yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. That's a fair assessment of what you've seen so far, right?
To be clear, I am still enjoying my time with the show. It is just that I feel, and maybe this is intentional, I feel a similar lack of grounding that Yuru currently has, right, in this world. Like, despite the fact that I know the modern world, I don't have a good grasp on what makes Yomi no Tsugai, what makes this setting unique, I guess, right? Other than the existence of the demons, right? And that is why, in some ways, I kind of feel that lack of grounding that Yuru has, right? And
yeah,
you know, it's there's that like really famous. There's that really amongst Bravern fans. There's that famous tweet that like in an ideal world, the world in which Bravern had come out in like 1993, it's 50 episodes long, and one of those is Bravern goes to the mall, and
right,
like, you know.
Well, that's why we're watching Gagagar.
Yeah, and so that's a thing, right? Is like, did Bravern need to go to the mall for Bravern to be a show we all liked? No, the version of Bravern we got was still a plenty likable show. Is the version of that show that's twice as long and Bravern does go to mall? Is that, however, a better version of that story? Right?
Maybe not.
Sometimes you want the silly, goofy throwaway.
Yes, that's kind of what I'm getting. You know, is Dorohedoro still good if they don't play baseball?
What if they play baseball in the mall?
You know, like Dorohedoro's probably still a good show.
Yeah,
but
yes.
Well, I think the difference with Dorohedoro is they're metaphorically always playing baseball.
Well,
we'll get there. Oh, yeah. So what I'm really saying is, you know, when Yuru either goes to the mall or plays baseball, it'll all click together for me.
I'm thinking.
You're trying to think. Okay, when
does that happen?
Yeah, anyway. When's the mall episode happen?
Yeah. But well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I think otherwise it is a fun show to watch. And the thing, the last thing I would bring about the show that I realized while discussing with Iro is like, I think to its credit in some ways, Yomi no Tsugai is not trying to like win the Sakuga Shonen like arms race,
right?
And exists in the mode of I think a much older style of shonen adaptation, and it's that thing of like, whatever you grow up with becomes the norm, right? Like, whatever you grow up with becomes vanilla, right? Like, in your mind, like, what you grow up with doesn't have a style. That's just reality. And I think it's only in hindsight now, watching this show next to the, you know, the Gachiakudas and Jujutsu Kaisens of the world, that I go, oh, early 2000s shonen totally does have a flavor, like a distinct flavor unto itself. And that is currently on display in Yomi no Tsugai, which feels like an intentional throwback to, you know,
right. It's a different mode. Like, yeah.
Well, we've said before, while I'm watching Nakamura-kun and being nostalgic for anime from 40 years ago, you guys are watching this and being nostalgic for anime 20 years ago. Right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Again, I guess if Yomi no Tsugai just had a better OP or one done by Asian Kung Fu Generation,
yeah,
this show could be on a generational run,
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep it moving then. Last show on our list, Dorohedoro, of course.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things going down in these episodes. I think I forgot to mention last time that episode 5 ends with Nikaido ominously saying that's the last time I ever saw Kaimon.
Yep. And
well,
because Kaimon appears to have split / transformed / I don't know into
so
Kaimon perishes in magma.
we get a our hype moment with En and Kaimon finally confronting each other, and I find it funny that I think anybody who's thought about this up to now is just assuming that Kaimon would be the natural counter to En because he can't be turned into a mushroom.
Yes.
And then we realize, En can still kick your ass without.
Well, the thing is that En can turn anything else into a mushroom.
Yes. So
I can turn your knife into a mushroom.
Yeah. So things do not go well for Kaimon in his showdown with En.
They really don't go well for Nikaido either. Here.
And they don't really go well for Nikaido either.
They don't go well for Ibizu either. Elsewhere.
Yeah, our things are looking bad for our heroes? Question mark.
Heroes? Well,
yes, heroes. In this episode, I feel like this is our. We're at episode 6. I don't know how many episodes exactly this is going to be, but if it's like the midpoint, this is like our midpoint act 2. Our heroes are down for the count. Moment, right?
Shit is hitting the fan.
And of course, death and injury and anything in Dorohedoro is cheap.
Yes.
So Kaimon, as we know him with the lizard head, may or may not be gone at this point, but he's got a lot of other things going on.
Okay, so what if we Aikawa? Yeah. So what if we cut off Aikawa's head and then take the formaldehyde pickled.
Yes.
Lizard head that Kaimon got cut off before and stick it on.
Anything is possible.
Yes. As we see in the following episode, which is the aftermath, where we get the hilarious sequence of Fujita trying to revive Ibizu, and just it's not even Weekend at Bernie's, because it's not like he's trying to pretend she's alive, but just dragging her fucking rotting corpse around En's manor, trying to convince Kikurage to the little pet buddy to revive her.
Kikurage is basically the equivalent of a poodle or something like that. Like trying to convince a poodle to resurrect your dead friend.
And just just all the bits of
that wins as the most Dorohedoro moment of this week, I think.
Right, because basically Ibizu has been not fully bisected, but her head has been split open,
cut into pieces, and various pieces.
It keeps falling apart, and Fujita has tried to just put packing tape around her skull to keep it together. There's flies everywhere. When they
this is funny. I promise people.
They rip off the tape. There's just a bunch of her hair matted to it. It's just it is the sheer lack of care on everybody, right? Fujita brings Ibizu to the doctor, and he's yeah, this looks okay. Just make sure you get Noi to fix the damage first before you go through with the revival. Right.
Yeah, it's very good when he talks to Chota, who tries to quote unquote help. And Chota just puts the hairpin on her.
Right, stupid hairpin on,
which of course then gets embedded in her brain later, because
it is. Were you happy to get? He was were you hoping to get a lucid Ibisu with her memories back for more than 5 minutes? Too bad.
No. Yeah. So, yeah, we had that going, and we've got Aikawa now, who is
may or may not be Kaimon, may or may not be I Coleman.
Yes.
May or may not be the boss of the Cross Eyes.
Yes. Could be many possible things, but we currently know him as Aikawa, and he meets up with Asu, or what is his actual name now? I don't.
Kawagiri?
Oh, he's still calling himself Asu.
I think he still goes by Azu, but yes.
The Nikaido's big brother, former devil sorcerer guy that can teleport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that gets us back into En's mansion, trying to find Nikaido, Nikaido is not doing well.
Nope, still infected by the mushrooms.
Infected by the mushrooms and trying to reject her contract with En, right? Which does not go well for you. And yeah, it was kind of interesting because in episode 7 we kind of have now what appears to be En confronting Aikawa, or what he is kind of seeing as the leader of the Cross Eyes, right? Because he's like, you could literally say he's been living rent free in En's head. Right?
Yes,
point, right?
Yes.
And how different he reacts to when he encounters him versus how he encountered Kaimon, right?
Yes.
And it appears to go very differently this time. Not sure. Again, death is cheap in Dorohedoro. We'll have to see what actually happened to En.
Well, we see what happens to En.
All his mushrooms disappear, right?
Yes. Just En gets the fucking shit beat out of him. I mean, the man is nothing but a rib cage and a head by the end of the fight.
By the time Fujita finds him,
So.
Yeah,
definitely.
We did have the. It was very funny with Ebisu coming back because we spend so much time with Fujita trying to convince Kakarage to do it, and then just like randomly.
Oh yes, Kakarage just does it of their own whim. Yes, it's very good. But
and we did get a little, shout out to the Cross-Eyed gangs, and now and now Natsuki is hanging out with them,
right? And Rizu has transformed.
Right, yes. Also, we need to talk about Risu's new form, right? Because Risu also had a pretty dramatic change these episodes, right? I mean, became a kind of nail chain skull man demon, which, as far as we can tell,
there's a lot going on in these episodes,
and as far as we can tell of these episodes, it's basically just a he is a mirror kind of character, right? Whatever you do to him, he reverses to you, right?
Right.
And so he seems to have some beef with the boss of the Cross Eyes, who could be Aikawa, who could be Coleman, who maybe is Kaimon.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. It's a little hard to follow.
This is the part of Dorohedoro that gets a little muddy. It is kind of similar to like why I was looking forward to the Yomi no Tsugai anime, is just hoping that just anime in general is just is a medium with more clarity than manga can have, just because of the existence of motion, animation, sound, etc. Right? Dorohedoro. I mean, I do broadly understand the top level like plot points of Dorohedoro, but I think I am looking forward to watching the anime to get a more like explicit breakdown of this leg of the story, which gets kind of
I think because of the very let's say impermanent nature of your physical form in Dorohedoro, with characters just straight up changing into new characters basically, it could be a little hard to keep track of everybody, but and I will say, again, season 2 as a whole is more plot focused. I would say, a little more serious, which is okay. It's not like we were talking about the whole sequence with Fujita trying to save Ebisu. There's still the kind of dark humor.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, even with the Cross-Eye Gang too, although they're I think slightly less funny in this case because it's really more about was it Dokuga, the leader guy with the poison?
I mean, he does infiltrate the wizard house, right?
He's like we need to actually start making some money. I'm gonna go start killing people.
Yes,
right?
It's pretty good.
So there's that whole thing going on there, but so I think it does feel a little bit different than season 1.
This is definitely a different mode of operation for Dorohedoro. And I think, like, you can argue about whether it's better or worse, but it is definitely, the story is definitely evolving in some ways. And I think it will still retain much of the identity that we know it for, but it is definitely, I mean, again, with both Kaimon and dead, seemingly dead for now, like, I think they are trying to communicate some very big ways that we are entering sort of a new era of Dorohedoro here.
Right. Think things are going to get shaken up.
Yes.
A bit. But it's still really good though.
Oh yeah. A lot of fun. I mean, I think there's again a lot of fun bits. I think show continues to look like really pretty,
does season 2 actually look better than season 1?
I think it does. No,
I think it does. Like I can't quite pinpoint exactly. I don't know if they're like masking the CG better.
It feels like they are, yeah.
Or like, I don't know.
Like it does feel to me like either they're doing more draw over the CG models, or the models themselves have just gotten better. Because obviously, I think you can still tell the difference between like the CG shots and the hand drawn, but like the line is much blurrier than it used to be. And I think
I don't know, like the lighting too is maybe just they have better handle on that or whatever.
Sure, yeah. I will say, speaking of lighting, there are a couple of shots in these 2 episodes that are way too fucking dark, and I begrudge every anime that has forgotten that nighttime is supposed to be blue in animation.
Right.
Like, don't actually make the scene dark, just make the scene blue. Like, I'm begging you.
Yeah.
But
that's a pretty common problem, I feel like, especially nowadays. But yeah, it's still very good. I think it has shown that it is capable of kind of pivoting very quickly between the more kind of goofy side of itself and
right
more into almost like a horror vibe, right? Like,
definitely.
And a lot of that is the visuals, which some of our, those, the stunning backgrounds continue to be, amazing.
Yep.
And, whatever they're doing to kind of blend the CG in a little bit better helps. I feel like if there's anything that's going to take me out of like a horror vibe, it's going to be CG, right?
Yeah, usually.
So like that's, they're doing a good job with that, and being able to switch back and forth between those two things, I think, more often than maybe we were seeing in season 1. But the we say every time the real Dorohedoro starts now,
Yep. This is Dorohedoro, I guess.
Yes, this is Dorohedoro.
This is Dorohedoro. Yeah.
Now that our main antagonist and main protagonist are quote unquote dead,
finally the story can get going.
The story can get going.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good though.
A lot of fun. Continues to be a good time.
Yeah.
All right, so that is going to do it for our list here for today. We're still, I think, have a pretty full list here. I mean, I'm probably, like I said, I'm probably going to drop. Oh, I'm almost definitely dropping Eren the Southpaw. Nippon Sangoku remains
thin
on
ice.
Thin ice, but we'll see. If you guys need to hit the backlog. Maybe we'll have a Toku time next time. We haven't had one in a while, but we'll always have things to talk about. So
yes,
we'll
tune in next time. I will have this weekend between podcast recordings. I'm going to the U.S. Sumo Open.
Oh, that's cool.
So we'll see if I have anything to report from that. If I recall any of it by the time of the next podcast.
Yes, look forward to your on-site coverage of the U.S. Sumo Open.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, then, let's wrap things up with our housekeeping. You can check us out at theglorioblog.com. Follow us on Blue Sky at the Glorio Blog. Check out Blue Mondays, which is back.
Yeah. It sure is.
For a triumphant return.
It sounds like you guys had a lot of fun with the last episode. With that,
what is with that movie, dude? Like,
I guess you'll have to listen to the latest episode of Blue Mondays.
To find out.
Yeah, you just want to listen to 3 old men just fucking crash out over bad anime. Just the truest form of anime coverage.
I cannot believe that anybody would have any other reaction than just going. Wah! So,
I mean, was
Fair enough.
it just a Eureka 7 recap movie, like in the vein
No.
of the old recap
that
movies?
would make more sense.
Okay.
You wish it would.
All right. Well, again, check out the latest episode of Blue Mondays for full details on that.
Uh-huh.
What a world.
All right. Then, yep. You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, Stitcher, and of course YouTube, where you can like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, all those good things. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, and we'll catch you up next time.